funding for outdoor family adventures has been provided by the Pennsylvania Public Television Network and for nearly 70 years, caring about people has been our pledge. We're Highmark, supporting programs which promote active families. Pennsylvania Travel and Tourism. Active families know there's more to do in Pennsylvania.
St. Vincent Health Center is Erie's first hospital with cardiologist and neonatal intensive care services specializing in neuroscience, cancer and emergency medicine, and physician-based sports medicine.
And by the members of this public television station.
Hello, I'm Kelly Gaughan. Welcome once again to Outdoor Family Adventures. Over the past few months, Outdoor Family Adventures has followed several bold and daring families as they tried new, different, and exciting sports. In every episode, we watched as these families stretched their muscles and their confidence, often to the point of exhaustion. Although these families were all different, varying in their strengths and talents, every family we've seen so far has had one major quality in common: physical ability. So what kind of adventure could we possibly attempt with a family that has a physically disabled member? Your first thought might be that outdoor physical sports are out of reach for these families, that they would simply have to miss out on the adventures confined to watching them on TV programs like this one. This could not be further from the truth. Those who are physically challenged are up for the challenge of physical sports, and thanks to an organization based in Pittsburgh called Three Rivers Adaptive Sports, nothing is out of reach. Since its inception in 1989, Three Rivers Adaptive Sports, or TRAS for short, has been providing disabled people of all ages from all over Pennsylvania, Ohio, West Virginia, Maryland, and New York with a wide variety of exciting recreational sports activities year-round. Individuals with physical challenges, healthcare professionals, and able-bodied volunteers give plenty of their time to provide sporting opportunities for participants with disabilities, their families, and their friends. To learn more, we followed the participants and volunteers of Three Rivers Adaptive Sports as they went skiing on the water and on the slopes. Today's story is one of inspiration. It is about triumph over adversity, overcoming the odds, and finishing with victory. And after all, that is what sports are all about.
It was like a year after my injury and stuff like that, and I was like, I'm gonna go out there and I'm gonna go skiing and everything. And they're like, no, you're not gonna be able to do any of that. And I was like, yeah, you watch me.
It's like I don't have to worry about barriers. It's like you're one with nature. You're not sitting in a chair. You're out in the sky. You're out in the fresh air.
These are just a few of the athletes who have chosen to focus on their abilities, not their disabilities, by participating in activities sponsored by Three Rivers Adaptive Sports. No matter what the person's physical challenge might be, from spinal cord and brain injuries to cerebral palsy, muscular dystrophy, and other neurological impairments, TRAS has made it their mission to be able to accommodate athletes with varying degrees of impairments.
It's a lot of traditional sports that may be adapted in one way or another for a person with a disability to be able to participate. There's lots of different adaptations or modifications that may be required for a person to learn how to snow ski, water ski, camping, canoeing, a lot of those sorts of things that we do. The idea is to try to get people out there having those quality of life experiences that we all need and want. Our motto is, if I can do this, I can do anything. And I think people develop a lot of independence, self-confidence, etc., that carries over to other areas of their lives.
This has proven to be true for several TRAS athletes that we met during a water ski clinic on Conneaut Lake and during a snow ski outing at Hidden Valley Resort.
When I first started, I really didn't want to do it. I told my mom, I'm like, I don't want to do it. I came up the first time in March, tried it the first time. I've been up here ever since.
For Mark Busha, snow skiing with TRAS has had a profound effect on all areas of his life, giving him greater concentration in his schoolwork and the confidence to hold down a full-time job. Mark's father, Bill Busha, is proud of the changes in his son, and he attributes those changes greatly to TRAS.
Well, I'll tell you what, they give just Mark the self-confidence. You know, when these kids are out on the slopes, they get a real feeling of freedom and independence, and you can just see it. And he has a full-time job now, and even when he was back in school, teachers would say that, boy, he seems like he's really carrying over into his schoolwork and into his everyday life, you know, the different things that he's learned just being out, you know, with a group like this and being able to ski.
Mark's brother agrees.
He really has the attitude that he can do it, no matter what it is. He'll try anything. He has no fear whatsoever.
Mark's mother, Norma Busha, is also out on the slopes with TRAS, supporting her son and all of his accomplishments.
When he was still in school, we actually got a letter from the school one time stating that there seemed to be a connection between skiing and his schoolwork, that the skiing took so much concentration that actually it was carrying over into his schoolwork. It gives him confidence. When he's coming down this hill, you forget that he's disabled. He's coming down the hill like everybody else. So for a day, he's not disabled. He's skiing like the rest of the people here at Hidden Valley.
For the whole family to be enjoying a TRAS event together is not unusual. It is not just about the member of the family that is disabled. Those who are able-bodied get just as much of a thrill from these events as those they are helping.
And a lot of people don't consider skiing, you know, snow skiing, to be something they might be interested in. But because of their child or a husband or a wife or a brother, sister, you get them into it. And because the group's not just for people who are physically challenged. And I think that's what's unique about this. It's not always, you know, like give as far as just to somebody who's physically challenged. You also get, I think you get 10 times more out of it than you put into it. And that's what makes it special.
Fred Abercrombie's 13-year-old son Bobby is an avid participant in TRAS events. He got the whole family involved with snow skiing and is now perfecting his skills on water skis. Even those who are able-bodied are often apprehensive about trying new things, especially when it comes to sports such as snow skiing and water skiing. But Bobby Abercrombie is willing to try anything.
I knew I could, but it was like a little bit scary, and then you got over it. After you go with that first turn, you're great. It's great.
You know, you talk to peers of your child, it's like, oh, he snow skis. And then you see them skiing. And these little kids, you know, they're the same age as your child, they see the equipment, and they see your son, in Bob's case, my son, going down some of the slopes. They can't go down those. You know, he's at the point where he actually skis the Black Diamond stuff. And it's like, you know, and I've seen like water skiers when we're up here, and you get a crowd, and they'll start seeing some of the water skiers saying, well, I can't do that. You'll see some of the more advanced people jumping in and out of the wake and, you know, that type of stuff. And they're like, well, I can't do that. And it's like, you know, yeah, they ski a little different, but they're still skiing, they're doing the experience, and they're having a good time with it.
Speaking of the more advanced TRAS athletes, meet Kelly Carpenter. Unlike Bobby Abercrombie, who was born with his disability and never attempted snow skiing or water skiing as an able-bodied athlete, Kelly was an avid water skier long before her spinal cord injury.
I'm working on jumping the wake, where you go out over the wake and then you barrel back and jump from one side to the other. I'm hoping that maybe a trick ski might give me a little bit more ability to do that. And then once I get some jumping in and progress to a ramp, I'll progress to a ramp where I'll jump the ramp, see how far I can fly, and tricks, get a trick ski and throw some tricks and hopefully get to the nationals. That's my ultimate goal.
But getting back into competition was not Kelly's original motivation for getting involved with TRAS athletic events.
I have a small boy, well, he's 12 now, but I had to, I couldn't sit around and not do anything because he's so active. So I figured, well, as long as I'm active and I keep on pushing and I keep on doing things, he skis right along with me. It's given me the opportunity to do things with my son that I never thought I would be able to do, because I felt like I might be severely limited in what I could actually do with him. But the Three Rivers Adaptive Sports Program brought me a whole new life, that I could share with my son, which is really important for me, and it's a great organization.
In many cases, it is the disabled member of the family that sets the high pace for the rest of the family. This is certainly true for the Abercrombies.
I think when you first find out about a child with something, there's the disappointment and letdown, and then there's the pity that they're going to miss out on so much of what happens. And through TRAS, I'll be quite honest, he does a lot more than I ever did his age.
In fact, the Busha family had never even been on skis before Mark goaded them into trying it.
When I was 54 years old, Mark had already been skiing for about, probably 7 or 8, 9 years by then, something like that. Anyhow, he told me, hey, what's the matter, Dad? I can do this, and I can't walk, and I can do this. What are you, a sissy or something? You got to be able to do this too. So I started skiing that year.
The equipment is of utmost importance, whether riding the waves or zooming down the slopes. While some of the TRAS participants actually own their own equipment, TRAS also provides equipment for athletes with all types of physical challenges. Mark Kulzer, president of the TRAS organization, described some of the different snow ski equipment that is available.
Okay, the bi-ski typically is for a person with a higher level in spinal cord injuries, cerebral palsy, people that don't have quite the physical strength or skills to ski on a single ski. The bi-ski has 2 radical side cut skis underneath. When it leans to the side, sorry Jason, we're not going to dump you over. The skis articulate and that's what makes it turn. Also have these fixed outriggers on the side which will hit the snow and prevent the skier from tipping over. We have Clark in the back as a tetherer for safety, can also assist a person with turning, slowing down, stopping if need be. Ultimately, we want Jason, of course, to be in control as much as possible.
And Jason is in control, especially when he is on his bi-ski.
People come up to me more often when I'm not in the chair because they're afraid of the wheelchair. They're not afraid of the ski. Actually, the ski actually draws them in. It's like I'm in total control of the ski. It's like totally freeing. I don't have to worry about my disability or being treated differently out here.
On the more advanced end of the spectrum is the monoski style.
This is Amanda from Carlisle, PA, Amanda Johnson. She's skiing on a monoski. As you see, it has one standard ski underneath. actually has a regular ski binding on this particular ski. This is for somebody that has much more balance, arm strength, can be totally independent with this ski, as Amanda is.
Amanda, who has been skiing since childhood, is one of the more independent skiers on the slopes with Trask today. Her equipment is the most advanced style for adaptive skiers.
That's what you sit in up here is the bucket. It's padded on the inside. And then you really want it to fit well to you. This is kind of like your boot when you go skiing, so you want it to be such a tight fit on you so you have more control over it. It gives you your mobility to turn and things like that. So this part of it is really important, making sure you have a good fit here. And down here, I don't know if you can see, they have a device on it with a shock that's attached then to the binding of the ski, and that's what basically acts like your knee when you're skiing. It gives you a little bit of bounce to it, a little bit of shock to it, and as you're coming down the hill, you can really use that to either, do like a hockey stop, to do like a real fast stop, or to be able to just slide with it. The outriggers, that's what these are here. Instead of regular poles with tips on them, they have skis on the end. In this position, they're used for helping you to push on a flat surface to get around and to help you get onto the lift. When you go to get on the lift, you can use them to push up. You put them down into this position to ski, and they work just like a regular ski on the ground. You use them mostly for turning and to keep your balance.
Brian McCormick uses a similar style of mono ski, although his features one very personal piece of equipment.
This ski was actually one of the skis that I got hurt on, so it's kind of a little carryover from my prior skiing experience. And I figured, well, you know what, might as well just put that sucker on this thing because it worked for me good before, and drilled some holes, got a new binding on there, and it's ready to go.
Brian was left paralyzed after a skiing accident on this very hill at Hidden Valley. While such a life-changing incident would frighten and discourage many people from ever attempting the sport again, Brian never had any second thoughts about returning to the slopes.
My doctors and therapists, and they had a lot of second thoughts, because I was like, oh man, I got to go skiing, and they're like, you nuts? You know, it was like a year after my injury and stuff like that, and I was like, oh, I'm going to go out there and I'm going to go skiing and everything, and they're like, no, you're not going to be able to do any of that, and I was like, yeah, you watch me. They were too happy about it, but they said, as long as you take it easy and everything, you'll be all right, and did pretty good.
Pretty good is an understatement. Brian is just as independent on these hills today as he was before his accident. In fact, he sees few differences between his prior skiing experiences and his enjoyment of the sport today.
From like regular skiing, everything's the same, all the edging and turning and balancing. It's just that you're sitting down, really, and that's about the only real difference. You just have to get used to being kind of low to the ground and balance in with these things. But once you kind of get your bearings and, get the feel for everything, it's pretty much the same. There's not too much difference to it.
Tom Gorman, who for the first time attended the Trask water ski clinic, agrees.
But I'd water skied before my injury, but I've been injured for 24 years, so it's been a long time since I had that feeling. But I remember as soon as I was out there, I remember the excitement, and everybody seems to be able to get up and do it. It's, it's really nice to, I thought it would be more difficult for the more, higher level injuries, and everybody gets a good ride, and everybody gets that feeling.
No matter what the injury, Trask can accommodate everyone who has the motivation to get out there and try something new. Similar to the snow ski equipment, the water skis also come in various configurations, with skis of varying widths for more support, with or without fixed outriggers for added balance. It all depends on the individual skier's needs. Each individual skier is assessed, judging by their extent of their abilities and by their individual goals for the sport. But safety is always at the forefront.
We've never really had anybody injured because safety is first and foremost with our program, and the volunteers are really responsible for that, and hats off to them for making everything safe and enjoyable for our skiers. Without the volunteers, we wouldn't have a program.
And just who are these volunteers who make this all possible? Often they are family members of the disabled participants, such as Fred Abercrombie, who not only helps with the events, but also serves on the board for Three Rivers Adaptive Sports. Today, Fred is also reinforcing the safety of all the participants by serving as a jumper at the water ski clinic. His son Bobby explains.
Everybody is like safe, so whenever you get off, they swim to you. We got to jet skis out there with 4 people, 2 of the drivers, then the 2 jumpers. They jump out if you need help.
Learned how to do the jumpers that he was telling you about. That, you know, you go in when somebody, you know, dumps their ski, then starting people, and I got to drive around and drive one of the jet skis today, and that was tons of work there. That was a good time. So it's, you know, the whole family gets involved.
The whole Busha family visits Hidden Valley every weekend to go skiing together. Mark was the first one to go skiing with Trass, and now his father, Bill, is training to tether behind adaptive skiers to help them turn, slow down, and stop. His brother Matt skis behind the adaptive skiers to help them if they should fall. And his mother Norma, who volunteers as a bootloader, pushing the skiers up to the chairlift, appreciates all of the volunteers who help her son and other athletes.
We've been in Three Rivers for about 11 years, I think, 10 or 11 years, and it has really been a godsend to us. Not only is Mark doing all kinds of outdoor activities that no one would think possible considering his disability, but the friends that we have made, it is just unbelievable. We have met the most wonderful people. You can only imagine the people who give so freely of their time. And the majority of our volunteers do not have disabled people in their family. Some do, but the majority don't. So these are just such wonderful people. So the friendships that we have made because of Mark being in this club, and the fact that he's just doing all kinds of things and got the rest of the family to ski also, it's just been a real godsend for us.
I've heard people say that you get hooked. You know, they come and they see these little kids, especially that are disabled and may not have a lot of opportunity to be with quote unquote normal children, physically able children, and they come here and they're free to learn and do something that a lot of able-bodied children would never get the chance to do. And to see the smiles on their faces, everybody, from wee little ones to grown-ups, just a wonderful feeling for people that come and give their time and, you know, help out. They get hooked in, and then we drag them in as members, then it's all over.
The volunteers make it all possible, but it is the positive attitude and burgeoning confidence of each participant that makes it all worthwhile. In many cases, participation in Trass events has been life-changing for the adaptive athletes.
Without Trass, I would be probably sitting at home doing nothing on Saturdays, or when they have outings. I'm very active when they have outings and stuff. Plus, I've become such good friends with these people.
They're responsible for teaching me how to snow ski, and it's probably the best thing that ever happened to me since my injury, and it's been a long time, and I've been skiing for 5 years now. And I am a father of 2 kids, and they're 13 and 10, and so I've done a lot of things with them, but when I went out skiing with them for the first time and started doing that kind of stuff again, it was really exciting.
They get to be the focus point for an entire group of people, just for a couple minutes, you know, where instead of being that person that people might stare at, you know, you're not being the focus point here because you're different. You're the focus point here because you're the person in charge of that event for that second. You have everybody's attention.
It's really just shown us what Mark can do a lot more. I mean, he's always been active, but it makes him feel a lot better whenever he can get out and do some of the same stuff that we're doing.
I enjoy the mobility of it. I enjoy being able to get out on the hill. I brought my son out today, his second time out on the slope, so I'm looking forward to both of us becoming a little more independent, that we can both ski together at some point.
Being that I was a skier, a slalom skier, when I was able-bodied, it's fantastic. I mean, it's the thrill of my life.
Every able-bodied athlete knows that succeeding in sports builds confidence. But for the disabled participants of TRAS events, succeeding in sports is an accomplishment to which few other experiences can even compare. As the TRAS motto so appropriately states, if I can do this, I can do anything. Thank you so much for joining us for this very special Outdoor Family Adventures. If you would like more information on Three Rivers Adaptive Sports or the different programs that they offer, just visit their website. We hope that by watching all of the families featured over the past 13 weeks on our program, that you will be motivated to get out there and get physically active with your family. Today's episode is further proof that you just never know how much you can accomplish until you try. I'm Kelly Gaughan. Thanks so much for watching Outdoor Family Adventures.
Funding for Outdoor Family Adventures has been provided by the Pennsylvania Public Television Network and for nearly 70 years, caring about people has been our pledge. We're Highmark, supporting programs which promote active families. Pennsylvania Travel and Tourism. Active families know there's more to do in Pennsylvania.
St. Vincent Health Center is Erie's first hospital with cardiologist and neonatal intensive care services, specializing in neuroscience, cancer and emergency medicine, and physician-based sports medicine.
And by the members of this public television station.